after a massive announcement by Binance, the largest globalized centralized exchange in the world, projecting XRP to be priced at over $10,000 and predicting it to happen as early as in the next 2 to 4 months. XRP has appeared to glitch on numerous exchanges, leading the path with the highest glitch being on Binance itself. There's an image you see right in front of you of XRP, and the price of XRP is currently sitting at 47,809 euros. Massive numbers here, but of course this was a price glitch. In fact, Binance went so far as to publicly announce that they've actually decided to purchase XRP, and that they've reportedly purchased over 31 million XRP over the last couple days. Now, this is obviously reports that are circulating, but it references the massive point that Binance itself believes in the number of $10,000 per XRP, similar to what the previous co-founder of both Ripple Labs and XRP has stated, Arthur Brittu, which said that XRP is designed for $10,000 and must be scalable to accommodate 7.5 billion people, or the globalized population. And we're already beginning to see this in the globalized acceptance of XRP, both on a global central bank level, on an institutional level, and on a retail level. Now, the current price of XRP is currently sitting at $2.33. Obviously, the Binance price also reverted back to $2.33. But what's important here to highlight is that during the price glitch period, Binance actually allowed some transactions to occur at that new rate of 47,000 euros. Of course, they ended up doing that for a couple minutes before they halted transactions, halted and kind of stopped withdrawals, and of course reverted the transactions and the price of XRP back to its current price right now. But what we do know is, why did that transaction occur? And based on my research, due to a massive amount of supply shock that ended up occurring for a very short time frame because of Binance buying and obviously mass institutions buying after the announcement that Binance made that XRP will be $10,000. Now keep this in mind, Ripple is buying back XRP every single day, and this comes as institutional investors require more. Don't forget, the Federal Reserve has already publicly stated that XRP is likely to be used to facilitate the blockchain aspect of their FedNow payment system, which is the Federal Reserve payment system, which after various meetings and rumored meetings of Ripple Labs and the Federal Reserve meeting together took place, they have come up with that announcement. Now, obviously, something that is not a shock. The United States Federal Reserve announced a $68 billion buyback of cryptos, which will lead the path with Bitcoin and XRP. And of course, this is what we are seeing unfold every single day. We're seeing more and more institutions jump on board. We're seeing more government officials come out confirming this information. And the truth is, the President of the United States of America, Donald Trump, already came out publicly and said that XRP is among the crypto reserve, and that they'll be holding a major crypto reserve that will consist of mainly XRP. But what they're not telling you is that it's not just the Federal Reserve. I mean, the Federal Reserve Bank says banks are free to use XRP and crypto. What this means is that we're about to see every bank in the United States of America actually shift towards using XRP. We've already heard the Bank of America has decided to also jump alongside Ripple Labs and XRP and actually begin using XRP. In fact, one of the officials came up publicly and said 100% of transactions will eventually be XRP transactions, will be using XRP in those transactions. But we're seeing it on a globalized level in the United States, but also on a globalized level where we're seeing SBI Bank, the largest bank in Japan, actually announce that they will not only be using XRP, but they will also buy back XRP. But anyways, let's go ahead and show you guys. The Federal Reserve Bank of the United States of America says banks are free to use XRP. Let's go ahead and roll the clip.
U.S. cryptocurrency guidance. This is interesting, guys, because the Fed said it was withdrawing supervisory letters that said that banks should seek advance approval from authorities before engaging in crypto asset and stablecoin activities. In addition, the Fed, the FDIC, and the Office of the Controllers of the Currency pulled back statements from 2023 that urged banks to be careful when it comes to crypto-related risks. During the 2024 campaign for the White House, President Trump promised crypto investors that he would have their backs if he was reelected. In a statement announcing the latest changes, the Fed said that regulators would look into whether new guidance to support crypto asset innovation was appropriate. But it means effectively that I think a lot of those letters that scared the banking system sort of out of getting meaningfully involved in crypto, and now they're saying, do what you like.
Here's the question. I mean, because it's the Fed doing that, it's not like an executive order where it's going to get whipsawed if another administration comes in 4 years, I would assume. But again, the politicization of it probably has some things a little concerned about whether the winds would change again at some point. I guess maybe it's better because it's coming from the Fed.
Well, I think part of it's coming from the Fed, and it sounded like part of it was coming from
the administration. That's what I don't understand. This was part of the campaign promises to do these things. Again, businesses just don't like getting whipsawed by changes in administrations that lead to huge changes in policy.
I don't know if this means that all of a sudden you're going to go to your local Chase on the corner and be taking Bitcoin. But you can't take Bitcoin.
Look, I guess it does feel very different. It does feel very different in that crypto is becoming much more widely accepted, and maybe if they can get more regulation that kind of cements that, maybe it would make the banks feel a little better about it.
I mean, look, we used to interview, by the way, Jamie Dimon would talk to you about the risks of it. So I don't know. It's interesting because there are people in the banking system.
All right, guys. So you guys have heard basically everything in today's video. I want to remind you guys to make sure you like the video, subscription, and you do a transaction to get yourself up to $100 worth of free money. Get yourself some more XRP with it. Again, it takes less than 5 minutes. It's literally free. There's almost no conditions. So go ahead and do that. And with that all being said, I'll see you guys next time, and peace.